Okay, Britain. I'm talking to the people of Britain. You. Yeah, you. I'm sitting here and I am so angry it's ridiculous. I've just seen the terror attack on Westminster Bridge and on Westminster Palace. Police officers stabbed. All I can make out so far is they've described the person as Asian, could be an Arab with the same sort of complexion, but it's been described as a terrorist attack. There are multiple people being mown down by this murderer in his car. He's been shot by British police. I'm not sure whether he's dead yet. I hope he's not, because I hope that they take him away somewhere and pull all his fingernails out before they even start asking him questions. I've been quite quiet on this. I've got my opinions, but everything is so politically correct. The police, who I see as cowards sometimes, I think a lot of it is they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. And the easiest thing to do is not do or say anything against an ethnic minority. Let's be honest, we're talking about Islam here. Islam. There's lots of ethnic minorities around the world that do not want to take over the countries they go to. They don't want to enforce their laws on the indigenous people. They don't want to behead people. They don't want to chuck off gay men, transgendered people off the tops of buildings. But Islam, in the name of Islam, which they think is a religion, which we all know it's not, it's an ideology. At its worst, it's a cult that imports people into the cult with threats of violence, threats of death, threats of rape. It's run by men who have no morals whatsoever, and they pass this lack of morality onto their children and onto their children's children, and it just gets worse and worse. And what are we in Britain doing about it? We don't know. We're doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you start a group and you start saying, I'm proud of my country, I don't want to be scared in my own country, I don't want somebody telling me what to do in my own country, you're branded a racist. You're branded a Islamophobe. Well, if that's what it is, then I'm an Islamophobe, because that ideology is causing the deaths of thousands upon thousands of people around the world. Christians, Jews, you name it. Because they believe that their ideology is better than any religion. It's better than any people. They are the chosen ones. Great Britain, it's time to make a stand. Not Fred next door. Not Bob next door that way. You need to stand up and say, no, we are not going to accept this. Islam has virtually taken over London. It's got a mayor that is implementing laws that are archaic. You go down to the underground and you can't see a woman in a bikini. This is London. It's Great Britain. I never thought I'd find myself shouting on a video. Because basically I'm shouting at a video screen. But I've needed to get this out there for a long time. I'm probably more prepared than most because I've seen this coming. The Americans have seen it come. People joke about InfoWars and Alex Jones, about what an idiot he is. He's predicted, along with a lot of his sources, everything that's going to happen. The only shock to him was that Donald Trump won the election and found that America had a hope again. America have got a hope. Europe's just about gone. Britain, because we're an island, we've got half a chance. But not if you don't do anything about it. Oh, it's not my problem, it won't happen to me. In the big cities, it's happened. The only difference is, it's not happening to you just yet. Give it a year, give it 2 years, give it 5 years, and you'll be having to put your burqas on, ladies, not be allowed to go out. If you take your burqa off, you can be raped by any bloke on the street. And that's going to happen really, really quickly. The time has come now for people to stand up for Great Britain. Your grandfathers did it, your great-grandfathers did it. We probably weren't the best nation in the world for human rights at some stages. And we hold our hands up to that and apologise. Well, I apologise for that. But we learned to become civilised. We learned how to live. These people that are coming from Syria, from Libya, from Yemen, from Lebanon, from Somalia, they're not totally backward. You watch them on any documentary, the poor little devils, their kids have no clothes, they're being shorts and a pair of sandals, and all their parents will be on their mobile phones, latest models, having a chat. But they think they can get a free ride over here, impose their laws, and they think the way they're going to do it is through terrorism and by numbers. That's why we're losing the fight for Britain. And it is a fight for Britain. I'm not advocating violence. I'm advocating numbers of people protesting vehemently and saying, no, we're not having this. If Muslims or Islam, you can't distinguish the two, because if they follow the Quran, then they've got to kill anybody who doesn't want to be part of their cult. Because some of them don't admit it out loud. One of the things it says in the Quran and with Islam is that it's okay to be devious to get what Islam wants. So they will lie to your faces. Your Muslim neighbour will say, oh, that was a lovely dinner party last night, just to get you in to what they want you to feel. That lack of spark, that lack of national pride, and to not notice what's going on around you. It's hard to know what to say when you're this angry, and I've left it 30 minutes or even more since this happened. My thoughts go out to the police officer and the members of the public who were mown down by that murdering piece of shit. We thought it wouldn't come here, didn't we? We thought, oh, I've had it in Paris, I've had it in Sweden. The media don't cover it. You've got no idea what's going on. The British media don't cover it. Because it's not politically correct. Sweden has become a Muslim nation. Women are getting raped and killed. If you don't use the internet, you need to start using the internet. Go on to YouTube and just put in Swedish riots, Paris riots, Belgian terrorists. Do you realise at our shortest point we are 20 miles from France? 20 miles. 20 miles of water is all that is stopping those hundreds of thousands of migrants from crossing over to here. And they will get in a bathtub, 70 of them, and sail 2,000 miles from their native land to land on a European shore. So 20 miles for them is like a stroll in the park. I hope you understand why I felt the need to make such a strong video. I hope you're feeling the same too. At the moment, it's not too late. You leave it any longer, it will be too late. As I say, go on YouTube, see the disgusting pictures of the dead, raped bodies of the Swedish women who have done no harm to anybody. Murdered by migrants who think a woman is a piece of meat. Now, I've had strong ties. People who know me will know I've had very strong ties with the LGBT community. Very strong ties. But you need to fucking wake up. You are starting to try and say, oh yeah, well, we're a minority and we quite like you Islamic people because you're suffering like us. They want to throw you off of buildings. They want to cut your head off. They think you are disgusting, vile, perverted, non-human creatures. There's nothing wrong with being a minority. LGBT has come on leaps and bounds. You don't need Islam. And any of you that think you do, you deserve to get what Islam will eventually get from Great Britain, because Great Britain is Great Britain for one reason, and that is because when push comes to shove, we don't take no shit. We just need to wake up. Well, I'm bloody awake. I've been awake for a long time. And I will wake you up until you realise that your country is going to be gone. I apologise for all the shouting, and for any of the profanity. It's not something I like to do on a video. To those of you who thought, well, I'd really like to do something, talk to your friends. Go on the internet again, have a look, see if there's any little local groups. I'm not saying go join the National Front if it even exists anymore. But a lot of the pro-English groups now are doing good things just to try and save this country. The media again, because of the government, because of the globalism, they tarnish them with such a bad brush, because if they win and get people to follow them, then the government is gone, because they are useless. It's a shame it wasn't one of them rather than the policeman that got stabbed, because the policeman was just doing his job, protecting those people who do very little for us. Right, I'm just about out of time. So, just please think about it and react now. Because now's the time to react.